Hi all, Renee here. I'm here today to show you what I made with the October 2024 Nest of Christmas paper pumpkin kit. This was a really pretty kit, and when I first started I thought, well, I'll make one of each and then I'll start cutting stuff apart and seeing what else I can make. Well, once I got started with that, I was like, you know what? I don't really like the way these cards are trifolds. They don't really work for what I need, so I cut them all apart. So just to give you an idea, if you haven't seen this kit before, your card bases come in this three trifold kind of a look. There was one for each of the cards. So what I did was I cut those apart, making them 3 card fronts per card. So I got an awful lot of cards. I don't even remember how many there are. We'll count them later, but I thought I'd just quickly show you what I did, what I used. One of the things, the kit did come with these pieces of ribbon, and I actually cut each one of those ribbons into 4 pieces so that I can make them go further, because even when you make the cards exactly as they are designed, all you see are these little tiny edges, and the rest of the ribbon was underneath, and I thought, well, that's a waste of ribbon. So I cut it into 4 pieces and used them on multiple cards. So there was that. It did come with the Stampin' Spot Shaded Spruce. I did use that quite a bit. This is the stamp set. I'll show you this because I have used these stamps. I need to clean them. I have used these stamps so many times you can't really see what they are, but this is the stamp set, and I used every single stamp on here, except I don't think I used Happy Holidays, and I'm not sure why I didn't, but I didn't use it. And I don't remember using these little dots, but I may have. So there's that. And then I used some extra stuff. So this is an old die from Close to My Heart in the Fancy Tags dies. I think if you're looking and you have it, this is what I used, and I'll show you where I used that. I also used the add-on Merry Tags and More dies, and I used this fern quite a bit, and I used this tag, I think just a couple times. So there's that. I also used the Winterly Treetop stamp and die set. Really nice stamp and die set. Here are the stamps. It does coordinate with this particular paper pumpkin, so I used that. I used an old Close to My Heart embossing folder that has, I don't know if you'll be able to see it very well, it has poinsettias and little berries and little sprigs, and I used that on a few cards. I also used the Stampin' Up, and this one is called Layered Florals 3D embossing folder, really fun. And then I also used the Stampin' Up Forever Plaid embossing folder on some of the cards. So, oops, sorry, that's the extra stuff. So here are the 2 piles. This kit was designed to make 10 cards. I got at least 30, probably more. We'll see. I would say at least 30. And I still have 4 of the envelopes left because I messed up one of the envelopes. So I still have 4 envelopes left. I might do something with them. I just haven't decided. I just needed to stop because I had other things I needed to work on, but I wanted to show you what I did. So this is how the card front is originally designed. Really, really pretty. I love the way it comes together. It does have a pop-out piece right here, so those I used on these cards. And then this right here, I noticed that a lot of it was underneath this frame, and I thought, you know what, let's use a rectangle die and cut ourselves that outside edge that would normally be hidden underneath here. So I did that, and so that's what this is right here. So that was that card. Then this was the other card, and this is what the front of that was supposed to look like all along, except it was supposed to be a trifold. This piece here was the piece that came out of the middle of this top piece. This was the envelope, so I'll show you more of that in just a moment. And then this had the same thing. It had a lot of this background paper hidden behind this piece on top, so I used that same just basic rectangle die and cut the edge off of it to give myself a frame. Okay, so here are the original 10, except not made in a trifold. So there's that. So let me show you each one of the ones that I made from all of the pieces. So these are pretty much all the same. Not pretty much, these are all, well, no, they are pretty much all the same. I used 2 of the little pieces of the ribbon like I did from the others. This back here was that die from Close to My Heart. So I just hid the little hole where the tag is underneath the sentiment strip. So I really like the way that came out. I used the stamp. Let me pull the stamps out. I've got stamps stuck everywhere. I used this stamp with the shaded spruce ink on this piece of vellum that I grabbed out of my stash, and I just stamped a couple of these little sprigs behind it just to give the bird a little bit more something to stand on. And then the bird itself was from the Nests of Winter die, or I'm not sorry, Winterly Treetops die. So it's this bird right here. And I just did a watercolor technique with my Stampin' Up markers where I just rubbed a little bit of it on my glass mat and then used my water brush to actually watercolor these birds. I cut all of these birds out of watercolor paper. I like that it gives them a little extra something. I wasn't sure how much water I was going to be using, so I wanted to use something that could handle a lot of water. As it turned out, I used barely any water at all, so you could easily do this just on regular white paper. Then this particular background is that Close to My Heart embossing folder. This one was the Close to My Heart. This one I made with the floral, I can never remember the name of this one, Layered Florals. So that's the layered florals, and then these 2 I used the plaid one. I love the way they all look. Now, something that is different on these 4, because I didn't have enough of these pieces of the ribbon left over, is I took just some white, excuse me, white ribbon that I had and just colored it with my Stampin' Up markers to make that red. So it worked out really well. I think the cards turned out great. So there are those ones. So let me show you these ones next. And these ones are almost all the same. There's 4 that are that way and then 1 this way. So with these, I used this stamp right here for that background piece. And then these are the birds that I used for right here. What I did on this one is I did the watercolor technique with the Stampin' Up markers like I did with these birds here. But then on the rest of them, I did direct. I just took the Stampin' Up marker directly to the paper. And then what I did was I just took my water brush just a little bit and then used a paper towel to lift a little bit of the color off just to give it a little bit of a different shading. And that's how I made these 4. And this green was one of the card bases that I cut into 3 pieces. So there's that. Then these guys, so we've got 3 of the birds that were from the stamp set that came in the paper pumpkin. And I actually stamped these on the backs of the envelopes that I took apart. I used this paper right here. These envelopes are quite thick. So I just went ahead and used that paper. Then these sprigs were cut with the Mary Tags and More die, the fern right here. And I actually cut them just in white and then colored them with my Stampin' Up markers to get the color I wanted. So that works out really well. And then this is I want to show you this one in particular, but this is the envelope. Now the first one, this was the first one I made, and I realized that my card base needed to be just a smidge, like a 1/16 of an inch bigger in order to get the full, and I don't know how much of this you're going to see. Let me show it to you on the envelope. The envelopes have this really pretty foil detail. You'll see it there. Foil detail around the edge. And in order to get that entire edge showing on the card front, the card base needed to be just a teensy bit bigger. And since I make my own card bases now, that was no problem to do. So I just cut my card bases just a teensy bit bigger so that for these 4 I could get the full. This one I had to cut the top off, but I don't think it looks bad. I also rounded the corners just with my scissors, so you'll see that there's a little notch here where I rounded it, but I just did that with my scissors. It wasn't difficult at all. And these are a couple more of those birds from the Winterly Treetops stamp set. This one I did with the watercolor technique. This one I did with the pen directly to the paper. So there's that one. Then this one, these birds are, these three are the same. This one, I used that tag die from the Stampin', from the Mary Tags and More, and then I just cut off the little hole part and put that behind that bird's head. So I wasn't real pleased with the way this one came out, so that's why I only made one of them like that. And then I tried one with the bird that came from the stamp set from the Paper Pumpkin, and I thought that was pretty, but then I discovered that if I did it with the double birds from the Winterly Treetop stamp set, I like them even more. And these were all direct pen to paper with just a little bit of water and then pulling up some of the color just to give it a little bit of shading. So let's see how many I made. So that's 5, 10, 15, that's 20, 25, and 30. So I made 30 cards with this Paper Pumpkin that was designed to make 10. So I feel pretty darn good about how many cards I got out of this kit. So with that, I am going to leave you. If you have any questions about any of these cards that I didn't already answer, feel free to leave me a comment down below and I will be happy to get back to you on it. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Keep this as short, as sweet as possible today. And I will see you in the next one. I do have an older Paper Pumpkin from last year that I'm just about finished with, so I will hopefully be able to record that pretty soon as well and show you what I made with that particular kit. So I hope you enjoyed. Leave me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it if you liked what I put together here for you. And I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.